Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the first ever, first ever recently in the last 5 years, ESDA Teams event here in the off season. Welcome to 2024. Hope everybody had a safe and happy New Year. Nice to see you all again. Of course, my name Keenan Kuz, and joined in the booth today by Frankie. Welcome,
Yeah.
Frankie. Welcome back up. I hope you had
Yeah.
a good holiday, good off season.
Yeah, man, it was great. A lot of stuff going on. I've been staying pretty busy, but I'm so excited to get back into competitive drifting today with you guys.
Really quick, we cover the basics before we get into what the heck a team battle is, because this is going to be a little bit different if you're not familiar with traditional esports and/or not old and your back hurts, much like some of us here who have run teams events with drifting before. Again, joining us in the judging booth, Brady, Harold, and Sela, and Spawns will be here for the top 32, but we have to get through qualifying before we can get there. And big shout out to Swirly on the back end running the stream today for the first time in the 11th hour. So if it wasn't for him, you wouldn't be getting a broadcast today. So big thank you to our boy Doug in the background. However, if you've never watched any sort of competitive drifting before, we'll be able to explain that to you really quick. It's pretty simple. Lead car leads, chase car chases, and once they do one run, they switch it up. We're not going to see any door-to-door driving until we've completed qualifying. The good news is there's only 16 cars qualifying. We have 8 teams that we've invited out for this team's event. Some that you might know, some that you might not. All are very well respected and very competitive in the world of Assetto Corsa drifting. But two drivers will battle, alternating who leads and chases. The lead driver must drive the line prescribed. It's such a weird word by the judges as smoothly and stylishly as possible. The chase driver must mimic the lead driver's line as accurately as possible while maintaining as much proximity as possible. So basically, the lead driver has to run a qualifying line. The chase driver has to follow that lead driver wherever the lead driver goes. They switch it up. Whoever has the best run out of those two will move on. And if they cannot decide, we will head to a one more time. So let's introduce you really quick to the teams that we have today. Today we have Hashira, Ethan Minima, Alex O'Hara, Liam Akihiko, and Damon Lapointe. Yellow Speed Esports with Samuel Guns, William Holloway, Damian Rosario, and Dominic Kirley. If I mess up your names, I just simply don't know how to read. I did not have enough money to buy a vowel. It's fine. Joaquim Hogue, Matash Kalin, and even Gios will make up Team Vosan. Shout out to Vosan, one of our supporters in for ESDA. You can get all of our tracks that you're going to see today, because we are not just doing one track either. We're going to be doing every track, or have the opportunity to do every track that we've done. Drive Center, Nürburgring Ring, Mugello, Long Beach, Fuji, and more. We're almost done here. This is the one I'm scared of. Darius Ostreka, Martinas Ostreka, and Ernestus Jakobelis make up Team Urta coming out of Lithuania. So one of my favorite teams in the Assetto Corsa drifting world. Super fun to watch those guys drive. Legacy Tandems got Joey Nguyen, Zach Macy, Kobe Wells, and Alex Murphy. All those driving out of North America. And then Thailand being represented by Hothead Racing by Race Zone. It's like a paragraph. Thanawawang Fushin, Nafat Nutty, and Thanathip Thanalapanan. I probably messed that up. I think I got most of it right. Team Escuco been around longer than you have, unless you're like a developer for Assetto. But they've been around for quite a long time. Super well-known name in the Assetto Corsa drifting world. Will Hurst, Alex Rozachev, Daniel Camacho, and Alexander Mitet. And lastly, out of Japan, Daiki Ishikawa, Seiya Ito, and Takuma Fujimoto will be representing Rough Angel 87.
Way better than I would have done that, not gonna lie.
Did my best.
Looks like we already have one of our drivers from Yellow Speed Racing up to the line here. Get everybody ready here.
So each team will have 2 drivers that could get qualifying laps in. Each driver gets 1 opportunity at a qualifying lap. The total team score is going to be the average of both runs. So first up here for Yellow Speed Esports, I'm going to believe is Dominic Kirley in the S15. Here we go. First qualifying run of our team's event underway here at Fuji Speedway. Good initiation, maybe a little bit late. It looks like he's a little bit too far inside. Keeps it off the rumble strip, though. A little bit of left foot braking to do that. Really fast section up here. Gonna be careful with this wall. Nice job keeping it off the wall. Maybe a little bit shallow. Still a solid run so far. You believe you're allowed to drop 1 tire there. Opts not to. Again, just a little bit too far inside too early. Gonna have to use some left foot brake to make sure that car doesn't hit any curbs. Solid run there, Frankie. When you don't have the opportunity to get 2 runs in per qualifying run, that was really all you need. I think a lot of
Yeah.
guys are gonna push way too hard today and get zeros.
Yeah. I think that's just finding the fine line between, like, you know, impressing the judges, but at the same time making sure that you're staying safe, making sure that your lines are really solid, and yeah, just and no tires off. I feel like, especially with everybody in this lobby, it'd be detrimental.
So again, just really quick, explain this to you as we go here. We'll get into it a little bit more when we get to battles, but every track that we've run on the ESDA schedule is available. All 9 tracks are available for battling. We are going to be qualifying everybody here on Fuji. The drivers didn't know about what track we were using until today, so it's not like they had opportunities to practice. So we'll be qualifying everybody here at Fuji. When we get into our top 8 single elimination, we'll have all of our tracks available. It's going to be very similar if anyone here has watched fighting games, stage bands, kind of the same idea, where the higher qualifying team will pick 2 tracks they don't want to do. The lower qualifying team will pick 2 tracks they don't want to do, and then they'll be able to pick a track from that. So first score on the board here for Yellow Speed Esports and Dominic Kierley. Should be coming in here. And there we go. First score, 87 on the board. So first run, 80. Oh, sorry, I can't read. 85.7. So that's our first run on the board. Not a bad score to start us off, but we have our second driver coming up for Yellow Speed, which is going to be Samuel Guns, Kaiju. And he needs to at least match or ideally better that 85.5 if he can.
All right. Lights are going off. Just waiting to see if everybody's ready here.
He has gotten the go-ahead, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, now we hear engines. Okay.
All right, lights are gone. He is off. We're through the chicane. Team Yellow Speed here in this beautiful S15. Great initiation. A lot of confidence going into this interclip 1 here. Flying through. That's another fast zone going through here. Looking very solid, staying very clean. Unsurprisingly, I know Sam has been just killing all last season as well. Looking very solid here. And consistent going through all the zones, staying very close to these inner clips, and that will be your run here.
I think what he improved over his teammate Frank is his line was a lot better. In the first run from Dominic, he was just a little bit early to every zone and had to left foot brake to keep the car from dropping tire or going completely off course. Sam, again, has been putting in a ton of work, has only been getting better and better and better. It'd been really fun to watch his progression as a driver. But I only really saw that going into the last hairpin. And this, out of all the ESDA tracks, this is the one that I personally have the most seat time on. It is the easiest thing to do because the apex is so late there. The inner clip is so late. You kind of get trapped into going a little bit early. So I think that was the only real big thing. So he had to kill a little bit of angle there, but his line was better. So I wonder if it'll better the score or if it'll even out. We'll have to find out. Doesn't look like it will better Dominic's score. So what I'm seeing here is an 80, an 82, and an 82, which is going to average to an 81.3, which means Yellow Speed is going to be qualifying in with an 83.5. That will be their qualifying score.
Ooh. Not bad, not bad.
Not a bad start as we move on now to our team from Japan. If I can... There he is. Okay, cool. So that would be Team Rough Angels. And we have Seiya Ito on the line right now on the Supra. Always love seeing some drivers out from Japan. Hopefully it's not too early, too late in the morning there. I think it is just past midnight for them, so we are ready to go. Let's see if they can better that mid-80s score of an 83.5. It's your current #1 qualifiers for Yellow Speed Esports. So we just got Yellow Speed out of the server. Again, typical Assetto good practice is to have as little drivers in the server as possible. So I think they're just getting those 2 drivers out first. Now they are getting the other 2 drivers in. And we should be ready to go. I have not seen this driver driving before. We are familiar with some of his teammates. Of course, if you're an ESDA fan, Takuma Fujimoto and Daiki Ishikawa should be names you're familiar with. But Seiya Ito, new to the series, in the Mark IV Supra. Part of the Shadow Realm pack, which you too could download right now at vosan.co. And here we go. And trying to beat an 83.5 is Rough Angels. Good initiation by Seiya Ito. Home track, having to use a lot of left foot braking there on the start. I don't think really got the initiation they were looking for. Coming up the hill again, full throttle through here. You want to be kind of to the right of the track as early as possible. Wasn't quite getting there. Had to use a lot of left foot brake. Big slowdown from Seiya Ito. We'll have to straighten out this course a little bit. Still in drift though. No zeros, nothing super egregious. Once again, a little bit too early into the clipping point there to cross the line. Not a bad run, Frankie, but especially in the middle there. Got some work to do.
Yeah. Just tell that maybe a little bit just doesn't have quite the experience on this track as other drivers would have. Just struggling here with line as well. So see what his teammate has and what they can put up to what they can put up on the board here.
And a little bit more experience, at least in the ESDA world, is Takuma Fujimoto. Been here for a couple of seasons with us. And scores are now coming in for Ito. And it's not going to be a hot start for Rough Angels. A 78, a 76, and a 78 going to have a 77.3 as their first score. So hopefully Takuma Fujimoto can get in there and bump that number up. You see something like a 90, we could have a new leader here. So it's not impossible, but he's kind of put a little bit of weight on his teammate here.
Yeah. Let's see what they can do here as we get ready. Your ESDA team event. Got a driver from Rough Angels at the line. Just waiting for everybody to ready up here.
A lot of these teams representing different areas of the world as well, which is kind of a concept that we're going with ESDA this season. Can't wait to give you more details about that when they're out, including dates, times, and all that good stuff. Again, we are in the off-season right now, but the off-season, like every other motorsport, is very short as we run into the second run of the qualifier.
Yeah, and through the chicane, they're flying through in this little Corolla. Great initiation, very strong angle here. Very close to that inner clip, going around the apex, flying through. Maybe not as deep as they probably could have been here. And as well, same as that zone as well, but staying very close in proximity to these touch and goes, right on that white line, in and out of that last zone, flying through, man, looking great as well. And that will be your run here, or your second run here for Rough Angels.
Yeah, solid run from Fujimoto there. Again, I think same issues as his teammate. I think just not kind of hitting got all the boxes, got all the clipping points, but the line getting there. From what I remember from the Fuji event, which I love this track, by the way, which you can also download on Vosan.co. Thank you to Vosan for supporting us. But again, just a little bit early. You want to be out to that outside clipping point with the wall a little bit earlier. He was in all the zones. Just the way to get there. Lots of left foot braking as well, which the judges usually don't like very much. It should be an improvement over his teammate's score, but I don't think it's going to be by much, as we do have some scores coming in. So 83.5 to beat Frankie, and they're going to average out to a 79.2. So not too far off, but not stealing the lead from Yellow Speed Esports, as we have 2 of our 8 teams qualifying complete.
All right. Just going to get our next team up here.
So speaking of Vosan, Team Vosan now on deck. So what you just saw is a team from Europe and United States. I like to think that all of them are from Europe, but it literally is just Liam, or it literally is just Sam from Yellow Speed. So that was one of our NA/EU teams, I guess, in Yellow Speed Esports. And then all from Japan is Rough Angel. And now, I believe, an all-European team. Joachim Hogue, Matash Kalin, and even Giois from Vosan. Again, Vosan, one of the best places to look for drift mods in Assetto Corsa, both competitive and non-competitive. You want the latest and greatest in Assetto Corsa drift mods, tracks, cars. Again, competitive, non-competitive. Vosan.co. It's an excellent place to be. Thank you to Vosan for supporting us, as well as all of our other supporters. Again, Moza, 3D Rap, Moza Racing, Stoked 2. See what we got you in the future. But Goys, speaking of Goys, on the line here. Again, run number 1 of 2 for Team Vosan. Nice solid initiation in the S15. Again, lots of left foot braking to see what he can do up the hill. A lot of drivers have been struggling. He was a little bit later on that second outer zone, which is going to set him up a little bit better. Not quite. Could have filled that zone a little bit more. You're going to see him really slow down there. Again, that left foot braking here really kills you. Straight, yeah, you saw that too. Straighten it out. And I just think the lack of speed was not helping him there. I really feel bad for whoever's supplying the brake pads for Team Vosan, because that's gonna really, the line was there, which is kind of what you have to do in qualifying. As long as you hit the line and hit all the boxes, you're gonna get something in the 70s. It's really cleaning it up after that is where those big scores come in. And nobody's going home. Everyone's gonna make the show. So at least if you get a run in, it's up to your teammate after that.
Yeah, just I think that's one of the things with this track. You really can't be super heavy on the brake, and as soon as you like mess up one zone, it really does tend to throw off the whole rest of your line.
It'll kill you, yeah.
Yep.
This track has all momentum and speed. You can kind of get away with it in that first corner. And as soon as you exit that first corner, you almost have to be full throttle the whole way. You could use angle to check yourself up in the next big slowdown zone. But very minimal left foot braking is kind of the name of the game here. But that's the only real way to adjust your line in between zones. So I do think we have a score in for Evan, which is going to be a 73.7 average. Again, that big straighten did not help him at all, unfortunately. As now, second run now for Team Vosan. Going to be Matash Kalin driving out of Romania in the E46 BMW.
All right, Matosh Kalin. I love driving this E46, so I'm stoked to see what he can throw down here at this track of Fuji Speedway here at the ESDA team event. Just make sure all of our drivers are ready as we get ready for our run number 2 here for Vosan, for Team Vosan. The first driver finishing up with a 73.7, so they're gonna need to be in the high 80s if they're wanting to podium, or maybe like low 90s here. So let's see what they can throw together. Here as we have our great initiation flying through. Ooh, a little wobble, having to let go of the gas a little bit as they go into that first zone here. A little bit of wavering, but staying really deep in that last zone, flying through that touch and go. Looking solid here at the last half of this track. As they make their way through the last part of it, really cutting it close to all these lines, but I'm sure the judges will have something to say about it, and they might.
Yeah, I saw what he was cooking there on the initiation, but I'm not sure if it's the setup on the car or just the car he's not familiar with.
Yeah.
But he went for the big flick, and the car, like the side bite, kind of pulled him in towards that first clipping point. He really did a good job of cleaning up the back half of the run, but
Yeah.
And a much better job, I think, compared to his teammate of keeping the speed up. So we'll see if that reflects on the scores. Again, 83.5 to beat currently by Yellow Speed Esports. Let's see if Team Vosan can take the top step. It's going to need a heater here from Matash Kalin. And it looks like it might be better than his teammate, but not by much.
Yeah, I was really trying to throw it at the beginning, but I think just the super aggressive initiation kind of bit him in the butt for the first half of this track.
As we're waiting on one more score, it is our old man, Harold McKinney. He's got to do it on an abacus. Never used a calculator in his life.
A stone tablet, if you will.
He also just jumped out of the server, so I don't know if they're going to check the replay for something. The other two judges do have scores in. I don't know if Dai saw something that he needs to go double check. I didn't see anything at first glance that looked like a 0 there.
Yeah, nothing super crazy, but
we will have replays for you in the stream, but that will be during the head-to-head event. We do not have anything for qualifying at the moment. Again, it's been a fun week over here in the ESDA production booth. I think we had an issue. Yeah. Dai, I think his internet dropped. That'll do it.
Unfortunate.
I just checked our staff chat and I just saw he's gone silent. That's not. Yeah, he just jumped. Yeah. He just dropped out of judging. So, I don't know if he's got a score and just lost internet, which is typical. It's not an ESDA event if everything doesn't go wrong all at once. Yeah, if we have a little minute here, we can go into the format a little bit. Again, we talked about picks and bans with tracks. It's actually not that complicated. I read it and went, oh no. But if anybody here is still from the old Forza days in FMDL, if that does not unlock a core memory for you, it's basically the same idea. Each team has a max of 3 drivers, and it is a best of 3. So if Team A wins both battles, they win overall. And obviously, if they tie battle 1, battle 2, they go to a third battle. That decides the winner. Individual battles are what you're used to seeing with competitive drifting. Lead chase, one more time. So all of that's the same, but it is just representing the team. So you need 2 wins of your team to be able to move on into the bracket. It's very fighting game, and it's very traditional sports in that regard. Me being Canadian, it just reminds me of like playoff hockey, but short. It's not best of 7; it's best of 3. So we will touch on that a little bit more when we actually have a bracket to show you and can use that to illustrate what we're doing here. But it's single elimination, no double elimination, anything like that. As we do have a score in for Vosan, there's going to be 72.4. That is not what they were looking for.
No.
That is going to bump Rough Angels up to second place as we near halfway here in qualifying. So I think we're having some sort of internet issue because Dai has got a score in, but now is not coming back. So it is one of our judges. So we're going to have a little bit of a hold here. Next up, when we get there, Team Escuco, talked about it a little bit before. They have been part of the Assetto Drift family in some way, shape, or form for as long as I've been around, which has been since about 2018 as a casual.
Oh.
Not doing events and stuff, just kind of being aware of what's going on. Escuco's been around a ton. A lot of good drivers on that team as well. The 4 representing them today: Will Hurst, Alex Rogachev, Daniel Camacho, Alexander Matet. A name that is not there, but one that you might remember from ESDA, Nico Stelia, part of that Escuco Drift family. They've been around, again, like I said, they've been around a long time. A lot of the drivers, I think, were based out of Europe. The whole team today is from, at least registered from the U.S. Whether this is correct or not, I have no idea, but stoked to see them here. One of my, between them and Urta, it's probably 2 of my favorite teams to watch drive. You never know what you're going to see from them. Not to take anything away from anybody else here, just I'm allowed to have a bias, I think, in my mind. And this is just a preseason event. Much more drifting left for you this season. We touched on it a little bit with our global format. I'm not sure how much information is already out there, and I don't want to... I signed an NDA. I didn't. I was asked very nicely not to say anything. But the format this year is really cool, and the way we're doing it's really cool and very different. Alexander saying, "I'm from Norway, not U.S." Yeah, that's just our. I have country of origin, and I think that if they weren't registered properly or they didn't drive with us last year, somebody may have just guessed. So that's fine. I was like, I'm pretty sure a lot of Escuco's from Europe. I wasn't wrong. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Just blame it on me. I'm dumb. It's fine. But yeah, we should be getting our 3rd judge back in here. I love technical issues.
Yep.
My ultra favorite thing.
A lot of awkward pauses, awkward turtle.
Yeah, we're getting there. It's fine.
Yeah, I think one thing that I'm excited about this season is just like how many drivers are trying to get involved in the World Series format. So
yeah, because it's not in the same vein of speaking of Nico, there he is. What's up, Nico? I see you in chat.
Hey.
It's not in the same vein of like you have to pre-qualify and go through Pro-Am and whatever. Basically, the TLDR of how to get into ESDA this season is just be really active in your region. Whether that's participating in more region-focused events or just being a part of the community. We found a lot of people would just show up to ESDA, run ESDA, and then disappear in the off-season, which is fine. People have lives and jobs, but we want to reward those that are helping push the esport of drifting in general. Not just necessarily with us, but over different leagues and different partner competitions, helping build competitions, and all that stuff too. So it's going to be really cool who gets in. We're going to see a lot of new faces this year. I'm sure we'll see a lot of returning faces as well. And that's just something else that we're trying to do to help build this community. It's really interesting and neat to be able to see like teams start building up and teams get better and teams get stronger. We have a 3rd judge, ladies and gentlemen. The hamster wheels running Harold McKinney's internet have gotten their sippies. They've had a half a carrot and they're ready to go.
Half a carrot. All right. Hell yeah, let's run it up to the line. Our driver getting stoked with his S15 getting up here to the line here for Escuco, or Team Escuco.
Yeah, representing Team Escuco. Run number 1 going to be Daniel Camacho in the S15. So, do believe this is a custom car. They're all running the same data, but we've only seen cars from the Shadow Realm car pack, so it's cool to see at least something custom. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Shout out to the Shadow Realm dudes.
Yeah.
Talking about people pushing the community. Those dudes are running comps basically almost every week now. Or at least they were. I've disappeared from the internet for the last 2 months. It's fine. Talk about people who do ESD and leave. That's me. That was a self-report. But we should be good to go. Here we go. First run for Escuco Drifts. Daniel Camacho, driver number 1, got one chance qualifying here. A little bit early on the initiate. He's going to do basically what everybody else did. A little bit of left foot brake. Really like the line he's on right now. Can he track out wide here to the wall? Yes, big angle. Is he able to keep that speed? No. He's a little early on that angle. Really wavered a lot there in that zone. He's able to clean it up going up the hill. Really difficult part of the course. You drop any sort of momentum, it really affects your line. Seems that's the theme of the day today, Frankie, is like going really big and then trying to pull it back with left foot brake. And unfortunately, our eagle-eyed judges are ready to see that. And that will be, I don't think it's a 0 or anything crazy, but
No, I don't think it's anything insane like that, but it's, I don't know. It's just I love to see it, of course, but it's just at the same time, gotta keep it together for the first part of the track. Just
So
think a lot of it is just, trying to keep it consistent and together whenever you initiate it. It helps out loads on the track.
and also too, it's not like this track was they were aware they were qualifying here for a week, so a lot of the seat time came today.
Yeah.
Which is kind of different. And again, in battles, we have 9 tracks all these drivers can choose from, and we won't know where they're battling until it's time to go. So that really plays a part in it. So not a bad score. We're going to start off with a 79.3, which
Solid.
if their teammate can match it, at least gets them out of 4th place.
Yeah.
So here's something interesting. The username of the driver that's going up next is Alex Driftsomnia. And I said, oh, okay. I'll just check the graphic and see whose name is Alex on Escuco. They're both named Alex. So this is certainly an Alex. I think it's Alex Rogachev because they're registered in an S15. So if Alexander Matet is driving right now, my bad. Oops.
All right. Get him ready up at the line. Looking very solid. Love how these S15s look. They just look demonic, and great initiation into the track here. Flying through that touch and go as well. Looking very solid. Staying very deep in that zone number 1. Let's see if they can keep it together for zone number 2. A little bit wavering, leaving early there in zone number 2, but able to stay very consistent and being close to these inner clips, as well as staying deep in that last zone. And through the last zone, looking solid all throughout. I think the judges are going to be stoked about this run.
Yeah, I think that's either going to at least build on, if not improve, on that average score. Again, it's the average of both runs from 2 different drivers. So that is going to be Alex Rogachev, because Alexander is in the YouTube chat. Thank the Lord, because he's there to correct everything that I've said wrong in the last 10 minutes. And I read the top line again. But yeah, like you said, a couple the same things. It's just I'm not sure if anyone wants to go over the big committee entries and stuff, because if you get a 0, it's not like you get a second run to try and back that up. So a lot smoother of a job. Maybe some of the same issues of a little bit early to zones and having to left foot brake to get the car out to the proper line. But
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a lot cleaner of a execution.
Yep. Waiting for our judges here to fill out a couple things.
Ooh, interesting.
We we got one score.
That
We
one makes
got
more
two
sense.
scores.
We just need one more here. One was lower, one was higher. And if they can kind of just maintain, they will be third place out of the 4 teams that we've had so far. That'll do it. 80.2 for a Skuko Drift. That's going to
Solid.
move them all the way up into second
Yeah,
overall.
not too shabby at all.
Yeah, just 3 points shy of taking the lead away from Yellow Speed, who are currently still your number 1 qualifiers. But that is halfway through our team event qualifying. We have 4 teams left for you. In order, it will be Team Urta Esports out of Lithuania, Hashira, Legacy, and Hothead Racer by Race Zone by Racing in the Race Zone and Racing and Racing and Race Zone. I forget what the actual full name is, but it is lengthy. That's the name that we use to test our graphics to see if everything will fit on the screen. Um, Nobody's in here in the server right now. I don't know if they were told to just kind of hang out and wait until until we had time or until we had a minute to get them in here, especially with one of our judges dropping out. But again, really quick, Urta Esports. If you're familiar with ESDA at all, these should be names that are really familiar to you. ESDA, man, competitive Assetto drifting, because especially Urta, they're everywhere. It seems like every comp I follow, they have at least 2 or 3 drivers in. So Darius Ostreka, Martinez Ostreka, Enrianestis Jacobellis. Those 3 names are huge. Obviously, won events in ESDA before. Not surprised. Stoked that they're here. I'm stoked to have them as part of our community as well. And we should, unless we're switching servers, we should be able to see them go. If anyone's going to challenge Yellow Speed Esports for that number 1 qualifying spot, it is going to be Urta. Hashira is also a pretty good bet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm a
Um,
huge fan of Hashira.
Legacy Tandem's not a team I'm super familiar with. A lot of those names don't ring a bell to me, so it's cool to see some, at least to me, brand new names to ESTA. We're just trying to see where we're going here server wise. And we are switching to a new one. I think we're going to the Euro server now, or just switching some cars out. Again, super. Yeah, I think I follow. I think I follow both of them, but I see Martinez. I think post on Instagram all the time, and the dude is driving a different comp I've never heard of every 2 weeks. The guy is in the car all the time, super active in the competitive community, which is why there's some of the best drivers out there. That's the best thing you can really do is just get seat time, and driving the track with your friends and driving the track, um, like to drive it around and just getting laps is great. But competitive seat time is so valuable in managing stuff like anxiety and focus. You really can't substitute seat time, like competitive seat time, for anything else. You see it at competitions all the time where drivers will do um like hours and hours and hours of practice, and then the minute they get into qualifying, big mistakes all over the place. So that's why I'm always think that they're a threat, because I think in terms of seat time and hours in competition, they have to be up there.
Yeah, absolutely. And like for how long they've been around too. So Goodness gracious.
So curious as who they're going to have qualify for them, because honestly, either of the three would be a great shout. I think it is going to be the loudest S13 in the world with Ernesta Sekibelis. And I think that's Darius in the S15. It is. So Martinez is going to be the one sitting on the sidelines. He's the one coaching, wagging his finger at his teammates. And then also in this server, we have Hashida with Ethan Minima, Alex O'Hara, and Liam Akihiko. And then the team out of Thailand, Thunny the Honey, Thunawat Wamfushin, the Fat Nutty, and Thanathip, Thanalapanen. I said that as a joke once, and he went, I'm going to make that my entire personality now. Thank you, Thunawat. Making me sound more clever than I am.
I love how you nailed that name. I can't say it, man.
Dude, I start with like reading the first vowels and just hope that I don't sound like an idiot when we get to the end. They're just getting them some warm-up laps here. This should be the last server for qualifying, so we also have legacy tandems in here. That's Will Hurst, Alex Rogachev. I don't know how to read. That's Joey Nguyen, Zach Macy, Kobe Wells, and Alex Murphy. Super familiar with them, Frankie. I don't know if you're familiar with any of those names at all.
A lot of these guys are kind of new to me. I haven't been keeping up with the SR series as much as I have in past seasons, just because whatchamacallit, life has been a little bit busy.
How dare you?
But yeah, really excited. I know a lot of people who are coming from the SR series are just very talented, so I'm really excited to see the boys go up against each other today.
Aceto's very much, if you build it, they will come.
Yep.
There's so many people who want to drive, just not a whole lot of people who want to do the work to run a series. So once you have something set up that's concrete, you're like, here are the cars, here's what we're doing, you'd be surprised at how easy it is to fill up an entry list. And a lot of people just, that's all they need is just some seat time, and then they progress and progress. Like, and we've had people in ESDA that our first season here looked really rough around the edges and are out there killing it now. We've had people that are rookies, like Ethan Minima, challenge for championship, and drive his heart out all season, and ended up winning our DreamHack event in Atlanta.
Yeah, so that was so cool.
That was if you have nothing to do this afternoon, after this event is concluded and have not watched the VOD from our DreamHack event, that is some of the most fun I've had in the booth, as we have a car on the line now.
All right.
Darius Ostraka representing Team IRTA Esports. Again, if the name sounds familiar, it is the esports division of IRTA, who drive in Drift Masters and all over Europe. Darius Ostraka trying to get IRTA to the top of the board. Current top score, Yellow Speed Esports with an 83.5. And here he goes. Let's see if Darius can make it work here. A lot more conservative of an entry, but that's kind of where we've seen a lot of runs go to heck today. See if he can get that job done up the hill. A lot of drivers have been too scared to push that wall. Darius, no fear, though. Nice job on the wall. He's going to have a late apex or late run on that clipping point. Super nice run up the hill. Maybe a little bit shallow on the line and angle towards that second to last outer zone. And across the line. Again, when you have no retries and no second runs, I think solid is what's going to get you up there. I don't think we're going to see an average score of in the 90s. Maybe I'm wrong, but something, a solid 85, something like that is what I think what they're looking for. And that should be at least on the board with something solid.
Yeah, man. What a good run for him, too. It was, besides a bit of left foot braking, solid in the zone as well as solid proximity and a great line. And yeah, it looks like the judges did like that one. So
So Ernestus is going to see if they can back that score up, because if they can at least match it, they will be within a shout of taking the #1 spot away from Yellow Speed Esports. Because with an 85, 85, 86, it's going to be an 85.3. So I think that maybe didn't have as much angle as some of the drivers we've seen today. Maybe didn't have as much, as good of a line. But I think what they had, or what Ostraka had over everybody else so far today, is fluidity. It's not the top score that we've seen today in terms of individual drivers. Samuel Guns is still our top, still our top score, I think. With an 85.7.
Yep.
I think it was Samuel. I think Sam went first. I hope Sam went first. If not, I'm going to get punched. That's fine. And here we go. Ernesto Sacubelis in the loudest S13 in the world.
Yeah. Absolutely love this driver, just terrorizing everybody in this loud car all season long. A very talented driver, very talented team, and it goes to show, putting an 85.3 on the board. Let's see what his teammate can do as he's right up on the line, flying through those zones, very close to the white line as well. Maybe a couple tire drops here and there if maybe the judges can speak on it, but that'll be their excuse me, their second run here at Fuji Speedway. Very aggressive run, but maybe a couple tire drops here and there.
Yeah, but there's a couple tire drop zones that are allowed. So I don't know if Ernestus had the wherewithal to go back and check what was permitted and what wasn't. Okay, it was Dom that outscored. Okay, thank you. I forgot who went first for Yellow Speed. I'm like, I don't think it was Sam, but I think that might be, I don't know how to say it, but I think that might be the top score of the day. Again, had tire drops off. Depends if they were in no-go zones or if they were in one tire. I know there is one zone. Okay, yeah. What I really liked about that run, too, no left foot braking at all. Very minimal left foot braking. I think that is going to pay off with a big score for Urta Esports. Is it good enough to take the lead away? It is 89.5 overall. Urta Esports is your new #1 qualifier. Ernestus Yacubelis with a 94, a 95, and a 92 for an average of a 93.7. That's going to put Urta to the top of the board with 3 teams remaining. Big run from Ernestus Yacubelis there.
I'm literally flabbergasted. I didn't know about the braking zones. Apologize about it, but yeah, love to see it there. Very solid run. See what Hashira can put up on the board as we have Liam coming up to the line here.
So Liam Akihiko, Suzuya Auto Body. Go check him out on Instagram.
Yeah. If he's the brainiac behind all these cars, then salute to you, sir. Absolutely love Hashira cars.
Some
Very
of the
detailed.
best looking models that I've seen in a long time. Lots 100%. Of detail. If you go in these with a fine-tooth comb too, like the engine bays are all detailed. So much love and work has gone into these cars, and I do believe, I don't know if he takes commissions or if he sells some 3D models, but Suzuya Auto Body, definitely, if you're in the market, go check them out.
Yeah, very solid guy all around.
So Liam in the Supra, gonna be seeing if he can better that 89.5, but it's gonna take a team effort. Liam Akihiko for Team Hashira. Good initiation so far, maybe a little bit early on the line. Good flick, nice and snappy. Little bit shallow in that outer zone, but nice and smooth so far. Choosing not to run any of that rumble strip coming up the hill. Nice flick into the last corner. A little bit of left foot braking to pour some extra angle on. Should be a nice solid score. Not a lot of left foot braking. Again, maybe not exactly on the ideal line, but was committed. Not a whole lot of moving around, not a whole lot of wavering, not a whole lot of adjustments on that line. And super solid job towards the end of the run, too.
Yeah. Look very clean all around, especially like through transitioning, like never having to make any small adjustments, just looking very solid. I know judges are going to be stoked on that.
Yeah, nice,
Gonna-
nice snappy flicks, too.
Mhm. Coming from Team Ashira, these guys are just, I know they drive a lot. They're a talented bunch, and so it's always really exciting watching these guys go through the track. Oh, and looks like we just waiting for scores right now from our judges here. We got one, waiting on two more.
Good start so far
Yeah.
from Leah Akihiko.
Mm-hmm.
As Sila's locked and loaded. We're just waiting for the other two.
All right. Yeah, I'd be happy with it. It's a good start. Getting an 83, 85, 81, gonna average out to an 83 flat. So let's see what Ethan can put up here as we get ready for our second run for Hashira in the car that has grown on me more than any other car.
Yeah, no
This
kidding, right?
this A90, whatever you call it, dude, is just, it's a stunner, dude. Even looking at the engine bay, like you had mentioned earlier, just there, these cars have so much detail. It's just one of those things where it's like, I don't want to love it, but I kind of love it, you know?
Yeah, the more I looked at like personally in an A90 Supra, my biggest issue is the front end.
Yeah.
And I didn't like this at first because it was weird. And the more I looked at it, I went, no, this is really good, actually.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like it works. I just feel like for whatever strange reason, the BRZ FRS front end just I might go and say it looks better than the stock.
Just needs to fix the livery. I think there's just one logo on the back that needs to come off that car. Just
Oh, yeah,
one singular one in the middle of the
right
back bumper
away.
that I've been telling him to remove for weeks.
Yes, please. All right, and he's gone, dude, man. He flew through that chicane. Look at that initiation. Very aggressive, great angle as he makes his way through that first zone. Flying through into the second zone. Man, that wheel's scraping on the wall as he flies through that inner clip. This guy is flying through this track. Look at that initiation as he flies through that zone number 3, in and out of that inner clip into the last zone, and holy.
Ernesto's got some competition. I'm just gonna put that out there. The wing over the wall, nice and smooth, really fluid and committed. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2023 ESDA Rookie of the Year and your 2023 ESDA DreamHack Invitational winner.
Yeah. Oh, man.
DreamHack Atlanta Invitational winner. I apologize. Smiley face.
Ethan has been looking incredible all season long, and it just goes to show. Oh, that's why. Makes sense.
He called me Ethan Minami. Get out. That sucked. So we do have a score coming in again. 2 teams left. Legacy, Tandems. I keep reading it as Legacy. I'm like, is that Jimmy Johnson? Is that Jimmy Johnson's race car team? They got a drift team? They got a esports drift team too? No, I just don't know how to read it. It's fine. Spent all last week watching the Daytona 500. I'm NASCAR pilled right now. As we will have a score on the board. It is going to be good enough for second place. So Ethan Minima with an 85.90 and an 87.7. So not quite good enough to knock Ernestus Yacubelis off your number 1 qualifier or Urta off the top step of the podium. But they will overtake Yellow Speed Esports, moving them to 3rd place overall. And that will be second for Team Hashira. Nothing to be ashamed of. 2 teams left to go. And we have Legacy Tandems on the board right now, and your first driver for Legacy is going to be Kobe Wells. In the S15. Beautiful livery on this, too.
Absolutely agree. Love the kit. Just something about a really good styled S15, dude.
It's like toast. There's so many different ways you can do it. Or,
Oh,
I was gonna say eggs. I'm hankering for breakfast right now.
yeah.
I'm getting a McMuffin after this.
I just need coffee.
I got a pot on. Want some
Oh,
coffee?
yeah.
I got
You
coffee.
could send that over.
It's like our Airbnb all over again.
Yeah. Good times, man. So excited for what we got planned going on in the future.
I can't wait to drink more beatboxes and poop in a toilet that's not mine. I'm very excited. All right, here we go. So our first driver for Legacy Tandems, again, not new, but new to us. Kobe Wells, welcome to ESDA. Let's see what you got. And we have Urta Esports on top of the board with an average score of a 89.5. That is what these drivers are trying to beat. Kobe Wells throwing it in deep. Maybe a little bit early. It made it stick, though. Nice and clean first corner. A lot of drivers have been having trouble today in qualifying. Nice angle, good rate to angle, good flick, but is a little bit early. Again, a little bit of left foot brake to get that car out to the wall. Gonna extend. Nobody's been really brave enough to do that today, but it really cleans up the line coming up this power alley. And nice job on the last corner. Welcome to ESDA Legacy Tandems. And a great job, and he's feeling himself. Yeah. Great run from Kobe Wells.
I completely agree with him here. What a great run from Kobe. I feel like I know this guy from somewhere, but I can't quite put my finger on it. But just consistent throughout, just very solid line as well as transitions. No over rotation, nothing insane, just clean driving. Love to see it.
Second driver on the docket, I believe, will be Alex Murphy in another S15. Shocker. As scores now coming in for Legacy again, 89.5 to beat Ernestus Jacubelis, your number one qualifier individually with a 93.7. It is all about the average here, though. Great start for Kobe Wells, a 91.7. Not good enough to take Ernestus off the board, but keep in mind, an 85.3 was the second score for Urta. So I swear, I need them to all change their usernames to their names because I'm dumb and I'll forget. If Alex Murphy can do a better score than that, we have potential to see a number one qualifier change here. Great score from Kobe, but again, it is all about the average.
Yeah, Alex is definitely capable here, especially in that beautiful Legacy S15. I know he's more than capable to hit 86, 87, maybe a little over. So really excited to see what he can throw together here on Fuji Speedway for your ESDA team event.
He's going to need a high 80 or a 90. If he can match his teammate, that'll be your new number one qualifiers. What a way to introduce yourself to the ESDA audience. Here we go, run number 2.
Yeah, through the chicane, lighting up those tires. Very subtle initiation, but clean as he's able to just a little bit of wavering, a little bit away from that touch and go, as well as going in really deep for that zone, but staying very deep in that zone number 2, crossing over the line in that touch and go space. There he is, flying through that zone number 3 and staying super deep in it, right on the line through that touch and go and looking solid through that last outer zone. That will be your second run for Team Legacy Tandems.
Well, Murph had a mountain to climb here. Really, his teammate really threw the gauntlet down for him to try and match. Didn't quite get the initiation, came off the zone a little bit early, missed that inner clip, and unfortunately this track is very... if you mess up one clip in one corner, it affects everything that comes after. It's really hard to kind of reset and clean it up if you make a little bit of a mistake. So if he was a little bit wide on that first inner clip, still got it, but was a little bit wide. It means he got to the first outer zone a little bit early, messed up his trajectory for the second outer zone, but was able to clean it up on the back half of the track, something I like too going up the hill. Foot was buried down, bouncing off the limiter. That's what we want to hear. That's what we want to see. I don't know if this is going to be the score that Legacy needs to take the top step of the podium. It was definitely a little bit rough when it came to fluidity of the angle. But with Kobe's score, there still should be decent average.
Yeah. Ew. Ugh.
Just waiting for Brady to fill the 3 scores out. It is going to be an 81.2 overall for Legacy Tandems, which is good enough to put them into, I believe, 4th place.
Yep.
So not too bad. Again, brand new to us. Definitely not new to drifting. There ain't no way that dude picked up this game yesterday and drove like that. Ain't no way. Unless he did, then I'm a fool. But great showing, and excited to see what they could do in head-to-head competition. Speaking of heads, Hot Head Racer, our final team on the board out of Thailand. Love these dudes. They're a bit of a party, and I mean that in a good way. Just very fun guys. Here, they get it. You know what I mean? They get it.
Yeah, they just like to have fun. I love watching these guys whenever they showed up last season. Just always throwing down, and whenever they threw down, man, it was 100%. So I'm really excited to see these two battle it out to throw down here on Fuji Speedway. So really excited to see what they can do.
And those 2 drivers representing Hot Head Racer are going to be Thanathip Thanalapanen and Thunawat Wong Fuushin. Thunny the Honey, as I call him, because there's too many vowels, and I'm poor and can't afford all those vowels. It looks like Thunny the Honey is going to be coming up to the line first. Keep in mind, he has been a #1 qualifier in ESDA before, so he can't put a big score down. And Thunawat, I've borrowed some of his cars from ESDA packs before. These cars are set up very grippy. They have good flick to them, a good rate to angle, and if he can drive it, which he can, we might see a good score here. Thunawat Wong Fuushin representing Hot Head Racer by Vosan, Thailand. Good initiation, nice and wide, so he's going to be able to carry that line and the speed all the way up the hill. You see no left foot braking. He's going to have to tap it a little bit here. And, yeah, the brake comes on. Nice job on the wall, though. Could have went a little bit deeper. Good job to keep it off the rumble strip there. 1 tire off on that right side, which I believe you're allowed to do. We'll see if the score reflects it. Nice smooth angle. A little bit slower, smaller wheelbase than the normal GTR he drives in this, and he's stoked about it.
Yeah, I feel like you explained it perfectly. As soon as you tap the brake, it really like unsettles the car, causing your car to either go way too on the inside or just extend and come off the track. Whenever you drive the way Thunawat has driven, man, your car is just constantly settled, looking great throughout the run, and just, you get a consistent line, which is something that the drivers absolutely love, or the judges absolutely love, obviously.
He likes a real gripped up car. Again, I've kind of like farted around with, obviously not for 2024, but last year's cars, the year before's cars.
Yeah.
When I'm bored and I have access to the pack, I'm like, I don't know, I'll just screw around and see if I can drive these. Update, can't. But his car's super grippy. I think that tire off was maybe a little bit too much, as a 74.3 is going to be Thunawat Wong Fuushin's average score. Again, these scores usually would be higher if they had all week to practice the tracks, but they didn't. Some of these drivers are driving this track for the first time today. Some of them haven't driven it since our Fuji event last year. So not surprised that these qualifying scores are not through the roof, but good job on these drivers to at least get scoreable runs in with minimal prep.
Yeah, absolutely love to see it. The talent and how far drifting has come to an online competitive scene is it's been insane, man. A lot of these guys here today can really throw down. It just goes to show all the talent that has been shown. Your last driver up coming from Hothead Racing, flying through the chicane. Gonna go ahead and initiate, very aggressive initiation, but it's just, initiation and just stop. Keep the car there, locked in that angle throughout his line as well. Heading into his outer zone number 2, looking very solid throughout. Absolutely love how this car looks, and just so aggressive and such a beautiful livery as well. And just making his run match how good the car looks as he's floating through this track here at Fuji Speedway.
He's stoked on it too.
Yeah, I mean, I would be. It was clean, man. It was clean.
One issue there I saw was just a nibble of that inner rumble strip on the last corner. In qualifying, judges are really strict with track limits and track zones. So we'll see if that reflects in the score, because up to that point, it was nice and smooth and fluid and fun to watch from the Thai driver, Thanathan Lappinen. I hope I'm getting that at least kind of right. I But yeah, nice and solid. That should be a scoreable run. No zeros on the board for anybody here in qualifying today. It is going to beat his teammate's score with an 83, 84, 84. Going to average out to 83.7. That is a 79 for a Hothead Racer by Race Zone. And we now have our 8 teams seeded for our single elimination Great 8 bracket. So your number 1 qualifiers, I want to say so unsurprisingly, Urta Esports. And your number 1 individual qualifier is on Urta Esports. Ernestus Yakubelis with a 93.7. You're going to average out at an 89.5. Excellent job from both of them. To even be close to the 90s with a minimal preparation just shows you how strong and how much seat time that team has. Next up, second place, going to be Hashira with an 85.3, and their highest qualifier with an 87.7. Third place, Yellow Speed Esports with an 83.5. Fourth place, Legacy Tandems, 81.2. Congratulations, top half of the board. Welcome to ESDA Legacy Tandems. Fifth place, Escuco Drift, the stalwarts of the Assetto community with an 80.2. And then we're down into the 79s. Rough Angels going to be 79.2. Hothead Racer by Race Zone with a 79 even. And then Team Vosan rounding out your top 8 with a 74.5. So we are now... Sorry, go ahead.
No, it was like, just getting all of our drivers ready and jumping into qualifying here.
We just did that.
Yeah, or battles.
You silly Billy. You just did that. So again, if you've never experienced a team event before, for anybody who came from the old Forza days from FMDL, it works basically, if not exactly the same. Each team has 3 drivers registered. They can have 1 substitute if they need it. So some teams have 4, but each teams have 3 drivers registered. They're going to, through a series of picks and bans, pick on one of our 9 tracks available. If you're curious as to what tracks those are, which you can download at vosan.co right now, that is Chang, Daytona, Drive Center in Sweden, Nürburgring, Mugello, Long Beach, and Fuji. So you can grab any of those tracks right now, and the teams will decide. Good luck, Burf. I just saw your thing in chat. It was nice seeing you drive, dude.
Yeah, dude.
But those teams will decide on a track choice, and then that's where all the battles will happen. So once we get to a track, that'll be where that stays for that round. Each driver is going to represent their team, and in battle number 1, let's say Team A wins. In battle number 2, Team A wins. That team wins overall. That team takes the round. If Team A wins battle 1 and Team B wins battle 2, they go to a sudden death third battle, and obviously the winner of that will take the round. So once we start getting into actual bracket, it's going to make a lot more sense. I think I'm just doing a poor job of explaining it. But we're going to find out who is going against who. I believe our first battle, if I'm correct, which I might not be, should be Urta Esports versus Team Vosan. But we are just going to be switching over to get all of that prepped for you right now. I know Escuco is going to be going up against Rough Angel at some point. I think. Everything's being worked on as we speak, so I'm just trying to like make it up, and I'll probably have to correct myself in a minute.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things where it's easier once people like see it, kind of deal. Oh man.
So we are going to step away for just a few minutes here and get this bracket sorted out, and it's going to be very fast paced when we come back. So don't go anywhere. The battles for our first ever off-season team event will be up in just a moment. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere.